Hello, my name's Carley and this is just a brief video on the products that I've used for my Summer Blues workshop, which is this panel here. This has been created onto 8" by 10" canvas board, as you can see. So it's thin, it means it's nice and rigid to stamp on. And the main materials that have been used for this are, of course, canvas board itself, but as I always say, you can go with any substrate of your choosing. You may want to go with a different size of canvas board. You might want to go onto grey board, card, something that's 3D. As always, you decide, as well as maybe even a different size. So main materials, I've got EKC 49 here. Now this is of my Agapanthus stamp set, and the main stamps that I've used of this are this one, this one, this one. Haven't actually used the others on this particular project. One of the stencils is PS 127. Now if I pop this up the other way, actually, all I've done, I've used a couple of these little elements here, just these flower heads. So this is really optional as to whether you want to use this alone, because you can see here, this is how I've used them. So it's literally just to do a couple of extra little flowers into that sort of meadow area there. But the other main product will be this, which is PS 263. Now this one is the one that matches EKC 49. So you've got these flowers here. Now these don't match the actual stamps themselves, but these do. So you've got 3 different steps there to be able to colour that open flower head, and then you've got these 2 steps down here which enable you to colour the closed flower head. So really quick and simple to achieve that. Right, other main materials I guess would be an olive green ink pad. So again, I use Archival, particularly when I'm working on something that I want to last a long time. So when it's going to be an art project that's designed to go on the wall, I will always use an Archival ink. It's going to be fade proof and it's waterproof as well. So olive green, I didn't want the imagery to be too stark, so I didn't want it in black. So hence the green, it blends well with all the other background colours that I've used. Now talking of background colours, I've got quite a few paints here. They're all PaperArtsy's Fresco finish paints. So we have Wolfeye, which is for background. So if I bring out all the background colours, you've got Thistle, Blue Oyster, Snowflake, Spring, and Gumboots. They're all the ones that I've used for the background. So the sky area and that grass area. Then as well as those, for the flowers themselves, I've used Periwinkle, Southern Skies, Eggplant, and I've also used Forget-Me-Not that I've mixed a little bit with Periwinkle. Then the last 2 colours that I haven't mentioned are Mouse Ears and Elephant. So that's all the paints that I've used. So as I say, these are PaperArtsy's Fresco finish paints. They are chalk acrylic. They dry quickly, but you might want to go with a totally different colour scheme. So go for it. I mean, just because these are Agapanthus doesn't necessarily mean they've got to be blue. You can make them whatever colour you want. I've got a couple of paintbrushes. So I've got a number 2 and then a number 8. The 8 is the bigger one. The 8 I just use for my backgrounds, 2 for detail work. Got quite a few stencil brushes, so domed. Anyone who's done any of my workshops before know that I do like a domed stencil brush, especially when I'm working with the stencils, because that way you keep the paint contained sort of within that centre area, and it stops, if you're careful, I should say first, it will stop the paint from going under the stencil, and I will show you how I apply mine. So I've just got a few different sizes there, as well as quite a few of the smaller ones. Then polychromo pencils. So few different colours this time. I've used quite a lot of pencils for this particular project. Right, I've got my glasses, so be able to tell you the colours. So we have got warm grey, number 6, dark cadmium yellow, which is 108, cream, which is 102, earth green yellowish, 168, permanent green, 266, juniper green, 165. I feel as if I'm calling out the bingo or something here. Delft blue, 141, and sky blue, 146. So they're all the pencils that I've used. So that is all the main materials. Apart from that, you're going to need some basic supplies as well. So an acrylic block big enough to take, let me just get that stamp, big enough to take this stamp. You're also going to need a stamping platform. Now the stamping platform that I've used is big enough to take my 8 by 10 canvas. So you just need to bear that in mind, that you will need a stamping platform big enough to take the size of substrate that you're going to be working on. So mine is 12 by 12. So of course it will take that size, as you can see there. So that's a big platform. So just bear that one in mind. It's going to need to be big enough for whatever size of project you're working on. So using a stamping platform, one, because of how I'm colouring the flowers and I want to be able to stamp that detail back in, and 2, because I'm working onto a textured surface. Now with canvas, you'll find, especially if they're fine detail stamps, which mine are, that you're going to find it hard to get a good clear impression first time. So therefore it gives you that opportunity to be able to restamp when you need to. So hence that stamping platform. Apart from that, it is things like sponge wedge. I think I've shown you before, just use an ordinary cosmetic sponge wedge to apply my background paint with. Tin foil that I use as my palette. Kitchen towel, baby wipes for cleanup, and of course you need something to protect your work surface, and a heat gun. If you haven't got a heat gun, a hairdryer would probably do, because we're not embossing. It's just purely to dry that paint off between the layers as we're working. So this particular workshop is a little bit different to my others. Normally I give you a date when the workshop's going to be. This one I have already filmed, so it is already within a closed Facebook group. The price is £15 and the video is 3.5 hours long. Well, just over, literally, I think it's 3 hours 33 minutes or something like that. So I've crafted it in real time as I normally do with my workshops. The only difference is that the video is already available to view, and it's going to be saved within that closed Facebook group to be viewed at any time. To book, head on over to my Crafting with Carley Facebook page. You'll find all the details that you need will be listed there, and I hope to see you in the workshop. Okay then, bye.